Alright guys, what do we got here today?
Well, we're doing an update video on the 1972 Toyota Celica that we had a good look at last time.
Potato, yeah.
Yeah.
All I see is a cardboard box.
This is just not a cardboard box, George. You know exactly what this is. This is the Nardi steering wheel going on that 72.
Yeah,
Tell us something about Nardi. You know all about them.
I do. I'm dying to get into this thing here. Enrico Nardi, 1932, started getting involved in the automotive industry in Italy. By 1937, he was Ferrari's first test driver, Enzo Ferrari. Company is still going today. And
oh, here we go. Made in Italy. Handcrafted.
Handcrafted, yeah. Mahogany, I do believe, from looking at this thing. If I can get it out here.
Nice.
Been driving all night, my hand's wet on the wheel, and this is the wheel you want. Oh, it's light,
yeah,
but you can feel the strength in it. Try and bend that. Good luck.
Now this is mahogany, as you said, aluminum, very, very light, strong. Nardi makes wooden steering wheels, handcrafted, also leather, sewn, handmade. This is beautiful.
And they make them for all sorts of cars, right? Everything, all the top cars out there.
That's kind of my question. You know, you see these things in,
Got my special shirt
Lamborghini, he's got his shirt going. Maserati, Ferrari, obviously, the connection there.
Rolls Royce.
Yeah,
Jaguar.
Volkswagen
Yeah,
puts them in their
BMW.
sports cars, BMW. So, you know, how do you know it's going to fit on a 1972 Toyota Celica?
Actually, Nardi's got a wicked website that you can go on. The serial numbers, or sorry, the model numbers are all on the steering wheels. In fact, you look at this box for the connection for the on this vehicle. It says right here.
It says Toyota
Celica, and it's got the Corolla, it's got the year, so it fits a couple different models of the.
It's from like 1971 to 1974, and for a couple of different models.
Yeah, you open this up. It's pretty standard, little trim ring. It's got the.
That looks like that's the adapter, isn't it?
That's the adapter.
So it'll fit the Celica.
It's going to be one bolt right on the, or actually the steering shaft go up through here, the splines. There's a nut that goes on the end that have to be properly torqued. There's instructions in here that tell you what the torque is. And this wire is just to connect the horn button, which George has there, so that when Colin pushes that button, we're going to hear a horn blow.
And it's going to be a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and the reason why he's doing this is because he already has a steering wheel on his Toyota Celica, but it's the original one that came with it, and
Cheap
it's very
plastic,
cheapy
wasn't it?
plastic. It was made actually to resemble this, and it worked
Right.
great. It still works to this day. It's lasted all these years and everything, but he wants the full proper experience, and this is the real deal. And if you're going to do it, why not do it right?
And you're curious about cost, I'm sure. Guys,
Well, what does a
how much
regular
do they
steering
work?
wheel cost?
Yeah.
Well,
You
you
get a
got
steering wheel for your regular domestic car, or even
a
for
few
work?
$100 maybe,
Yeah.
new, probably 25 to 50 bucks used.
And we're not dealing with an airbag in this vehicle, so
No,
we
we're
don't
not.
have that expense, but Colin
Yeah.
could have got a cheaper steering wheel. Now, you mentioned about price. Also, you want to make sure you don't get a knockoff for one of these. There's all kinds on eBay, the knockoffs. This one has a signature. Enrico Nardi is right on the steering wheel. This little
Can't see it, but it's
you
there.
can't see it. It's there. I'll show it there. And
They have a very sophisticated system with the serial numbers and everything,
yeah,
so you
serial
know you have the
numbers.
real.
The other thing right in the front there's
product.
actually this little scratch spot, like a lottery ticket. We're not going to scratch it off. That's something that Colin's
The owner's going to enjoy.
do for
Yeah.
sure. He's going to take a coin and scratch 1972 dime maybe.
Why not?
And Colin will scratch that. That'll reveal the serial number. He'll go on the website, Nardi's website, and he'll get that steering wheel registered.
Scratch
It's
and win
authentic.
fans, here you go, right? But we're looking at, you know, $400, $500, $600 for one of these things. So the certificate of authenticity and everything is very important. You want to make sure that you're not buying a knockoff. It just won't hold up. But this, I mean, this is just gorgeous.
Now it's going to be wonderful when it's installed on the car, and we're getting a lot closer on the restoration. We're going to take a close look now and see where the car currently is, because things have changed a little bit since last time.
But I got a question here, guys.
Yes.
I didn't look it up yet. You might want to look it up. What did a 1972 Toyota Celica 4-speed cost in 1972? I bet this steering wheel is probably 25% of the cost of that car when it was new back in the day, right?
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, so this is this restoration is going to be something else. I'm really looking forward to seeing this thing when it rolls out of the shop and someone climbs behind the wheel.
Let's take a look.
Hey, and I'm hoping that me is going to be me. that person that climbs behind the wheel is going to be me.
You know what? We'll all take a turn, with luck.
We sure will. Well, let's take a look now and see what the car's looking like.
I heard it's ready for paint, almost.
Almost.
Ready for paint, so we're going to, a lot of metal work
Yeah.
has happened the last time we were there, so we're going to have a look at it. maybe they'll let us spray some primer or something. We'll ask.
I want to take the steering wheel.
Yeah. No, I'll take the steering wheel.
Well, we're all hoping for a turn once it's done. We're not quite
There you
close
go.
there yet, but we're getting there. So let's go have a look.
You take it home tonight. Tomorrow night, can I borrow it tomorrow night?
You weren't really letting go of that.
You know what?
Nice.
Guys, it's not a wishbone. It's, you know, and we're not going to win anyway. We're not going to break that thing.
All right, we're back here again at Maaco and Bears Lake.
Hey, the award-winning Maaco, by the way.
The award-winning Maaco. Yes.
Doing, guys, to let anyone in here apparently. So
Well, come down, check this out. Come in, come in on time.
I've been checking it out for months.
Absolutely.
But did you see this yet? The Nardi steering wheel?
I couldn't miss an episode on your webpage.
On our wonderful YouTube channel.
We're just checking this out. It
Yeah.
looks like it's a tiny or small diameter, which is going to feel really cool in this car.
Absolutely.
And just hold it up there, Chris. This is
Yeah.
how wicked it is.
So perfectly that fits in there, yeah.
Yeah, same
You're
style,
right.
3-spoke.
But beautiful. And the difference in quality, you can see it right off the bat. And of course, the original one, just plastic. And it was made as sort of a reproduction of this. We can feel the nice grooves here, and they're definitely
the
on the
same.
original. But
The other thing I noticed is the Nardi has a great feel to it, Darrell, where this little skinny one here, wrap your hands around those. You got big mitts. What's that going to feel like? That?
Oh, it's just such a manly steering wheel.
Oh, there you go.
very cool. And things have changed on the car.
Yeah, let's have a look around.
This looks a lot different from the last time we were here.
Yeah, it's in primer, so
Wow.
it's
That
one
looks
step
fantastic.
back, 1 step back, 2 step forward. So before you seen it, it was all fitting the panels, making sure the metal and the body were straight.
Yep.
And now that we're happy with the gaps, we've gone off, dressed the welds that we did, got the exterior of it in primer, blocked that, and reprimed it again, so it's going into the finishing stages. Probably in the next 10 days or so, it'll be blue and shiny.
Now let me tell you something, Darrell. When Chris first walked in, he said, "Well, wait a minute. This."
I sure did because.
What did you say?
Well, you said 2 steps back or whatever step, and I'm like, where is everything? Where are the doors? Where's the fenders? What's going on?
They were on here the last time we came
They were
out.
on
You gotta
last
come
time.
off to be primed inside and
Yeah.
out, and the way the painting will be done. I mean, we're still a ways yet. There's a few things we have to do before we're gonna run it through the booth.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the interior, not the interior, finished interior, but the old floor will be cleaned up. All this old sound deadener will come out. We'll paint it black, so that way when the new sound deadener goes in, it's
Nice.
ready to go.
Now, how are you going to get that? I mean, that looks like it's like turned down. Like
Yeah.
it's from 1972. How are you going to get that off the floor?
There's gonna be
There's a
There's more than one way to skin a cat. It depends on how you want to do it, but this should loosen up if we take a torch
Yep.
or a source of heat, whether it be heat gun or torch. You don't got to melt it. You just need to get it
soften it a bit.
soften it up, and then a little chisel, it'll come up. You could air chisel it. You could,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
I think the easiest way to try that first is just to it'll peel up if you pick at it, but you won't have fingers left. So
Yeah.
if you heat it up and use a little
Scraper,
body
come right
scraper or chisel or something like that, it should come up pretty good. And
No, it's still amazing to me that you took all the doors and everything off, because as silly or crazy as it might sound, you think, oh, you just paint the car, right? But you guys are doing it
That's
full
the-
on.
This is not, like I say, I tell people this is going to be a driver. This
Yeah.
is not your typical show car build, and this is not even your typical paint job.
Right.
This is an in-between of a high-quality job and a complete restoration. This is, we'll say, well beyond a high-quality job and below a full-on restoration that you
Right.
see on Discovery. This is
Yeah.
a real working body shop.
Yeah.
It's not what you see on TV. What you see on TV is reality, because people do that.
Right.
But those are $150,000 builds
Yeah.
plus. Some of them $250,000. This is not the case. This is just we're taking an old vehicle, and putting modern technology into it. I
Yeah.
think you'd refer to it as almost a resto mod.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's more of a. It's not really a restoration to bring it back like it looked in 1972. It's modified when you look at the brake system, the suspension system, that GS 400 engine that's popped under the hood.
This will probably be the best. Not saying us doing it, but
Right.
anyone that's gone through the length of work to put into this car, this will be the best thing that's ever been happened to the car. It'll be better than the day it rolled off the factory lines, because the products are 10 times better. I mean, 2015 or 2016, sorry, and that's 1972.
You make a
Absolutely.
good point. Yeah.
So everything's better. Technology evolves. The chemicals, the processes, the tools, the technicians.
We'll be seeing the new seats soon,
You'll see-
which are
right.
premium compared to what they originally came with.
And speaking of, you're talking about the differences from that technology and this technology. We figured that steering wheel alone is probably worth 25% of the car in its retail value back in
Yeah.
1972.
Yeah, probably. Because that's not produced like that. That's
No.
made in a mold. This is, someone's put hands on that and that's been assembled. And that's wood, it's plastic,
Yeah.
you know.
But it's interesting what you say about resto mod and about where this fits in and how some people, money is no object. You spend the absolute most that you can to make it as pristine as you can and have it the showroom in that sort of condition. And we have something very interesting here that I think we were walking by earlier, which is a new word to me. I think the valance on the front.
Yeah.
I call it a little mini bumper or something like that. But we can go have a look.
Yeah,
But it's-
spoiler, yeah.
yeah, but I know Colin, the owner, had purchased this in California from a guy named Joel at a place called Toy Sport. And it's not a whole lot to look at right now. It's not even got the full...
Essentially, it'll go
Yeah.
on underneath the bumper on the front. This is the original valance panel for it.
Yep.
So, again, there's not really a textbook way to do this. There's ways to do it, but a fiberglass mold, and this is important for anyone watching, when you buy a part on eBay or an aftermarket part that's a fiberglass mold, it will not just bolt on a car.
Right.
It's made out of a mold that should fit, but it takes a lot of four-letter words
Yep.
and hours and material to make it look like it's supposed to. So again, I can't wait for you to see it when it's done because it's going to look awesome.
Yeah.
The sum of the parts will be almost greater than the whole, but when you see it together, it's going to look great. What you don't see is, and when you watch these shows on Velocity or Discovery or TLC or whatever you see, they do it in a you know, a 2 or 3 hour show,
Yeah.
or 2 or 3 shows over the course of a half an hour to an hour per show. They don't tell you there was 9 months
In between.
of work in between there, and that guy spent 2 days figuring this out so it looks like a part that was fabricated and designed by the manufacturer
Right.
when it's literally time and materials. And the best way I've had people explain it is, you know, anything you want in the world, it's just $75 an hour. How many hours you want to spend. And when you see those shows on TV, they don't tell you
Yeah.
that there's 3,000 hours into those jobs and
Yeah.
$100,000 worth of parts.
Yes.
And you're talking about a $250,000 car that's going down to SEMA to compete in, you know, the Riddler Awards.
Yeah.
It's not reality. It's awesome to watch, but it's not real world. This is a real world application for this.
And so this, just this install itself, this came, you'd mentioned that it, you know, didn't fit exactly.
Well, this is
Yeah, actually,
lot
the-
2, where we didn't. Colin did,
Yeah.
because he wants a spare in case we crack one on a curb.
Yeah.
But
Because this is going to be down pretty low, right around that curb, that concrete curb
it'd be
thing
like
in front of
8
the
or
parking lot, right?
10 inches off
Yeah.
the ground sort of thing.
And what we've got here to explain to everyone properly, so someone has an original of this, and he's made a mold of it, I guess.
Right.
That's what's happening. So these
Yeah.
are both made from this mold.
Yeah. From what
And,
I've been told, and
yeah.
I don't know much about the car, I just know how to manage a process and run a shop, but
Yeah.
these were made probably in Japan as a limited edition thing or not for certain markets. It's not uncommon, like, you know, we used to have lots of vehicles in North America that, you know, maybe I should start over and say this. Have you ever gone down to Dominican and seen a Hyundai pickup truck?
Right.
But you'll never see a Hyundai pick. So they make
Looks
different
like that,
vehicles
yeah.
for different markets
For
in the
sure.
world. And in Japan or in Europe, if you have a Camaro over there, it's going to be the same, but just something's different on it.
Yeah.
This was probably made for a market in Europe or Japan, as Colin
Yep.
was saying. It doesn't fit, but some guy wants the look because it looks cool on the car, so they make a mold. And yeah, it takes time to make that mold, but this does not fit on the car. It's actually too narrow.
Wow.
Right.
So we took the original, which is
Original
steel,
valve, yep.
which we know
Yep.
was made and engineered for the car. There was 2 ways to do it, was to cut that all apart and sacrifice it and modify it to this. It's a lot easier to locate another one of these if we mess it up
Yep.
than to locate a valance panel for a car that doesn't exist anymore. So this was actually, if you look, here, has all been cut and shaved.
I see.
Because
yeah,
this
yeah.
is an inch too short, so if we tried to install this, it would have numbers to
Gonna
bolt.
fit.
Right.
Yeah.
So we knew this fit, so this has all been blasted and repaired and been primed. And then this is a structural adhesive that we use in the collision repair trade. And it's actually an SMC rigid repair kit. This will bond, it's very, very strong. We've
Yeah.
bonded the
Yeah.
spoiler, we've
Yeah, you
modified
do
it
too.
and trimmed it, so we've cut, you know, all this lip off of it,
Oh, yeah.
corners off of it to make it fit. The adhesive is set, and then the technician will shave this all down, mold it in and smooth it.
Yeah.
But just to give an example, people will come in from the shop's perspective and go, yeah, I just need you to, it's not that big of a deal, just
Yeah.
put it on because you've seen it on TV.
Yep.
Right.
The guy that's doing this will probably be into this for 8 to 10 hours. So at $65 an hour is what we charge for labor. That's a $1,000 bill.
Wow.
By the
Yeah.
time you
Yeah.
factor in material,
To make
labor,
it
and paint.
to make it proper and fit right. Yeah, and painted proper.
So that's what people don't realize, and that's why I'm kind of doing the show, is not the show,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
commenting
Yeah.
is what you see on TV is real.
Yeah.
There are people out there that do that, and the Chip Fooses and the Dave Kindigs and these custom car builders.
Absolutely.
That's not what we are. We're a functioning business and a body shop, and so are they. But they're a contractor that builds $5 million and $10 million show homes versus
Exactly.
Joe's Construction that builds townhouses. They're
Right.
both in the same thing. Two totally different applications to the trade.
Exactly.
And you can have it, you just got to pay for it.
For sure. It sounds like you're saying there's probably 3 different ways of doing this. One is what we just described with
Right.
this and using this original piece.
Right.
Some guys
We'll
are going to
make
be
a-
buying this, and they're going to be actually having to drill holes
Right.
in this and trying to
And
put
try
this
and make
on.
it, and they'll never make
Never
it
make
fit.
fit.
And then someone else, maybe not for this particular part, but there are some kits available that are the proper kits
You
that
can-
cost thousands and thousands of dollars
So-
that are going to come much easier to you that you can really just bolt on because all the precision work has been done, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you can get, you know, just to put it in layman's terms, you can buy a bottle of Tylenol
Yep.
and for $8.99, or you can go buy a bottle of Life brand ibuprofen or Tylenol or the acetaminophen or whatever it
Yeah.
is for $4.99. Essentially, it's the same thing, but there's a generic and a brand.
Right.
So if you have, we see it all the time, not on 72 Celicas, but it's more so on, customer's got a 2013 BMW X5 or X6, and he wants to customize it and paint it flat black, and he went out and bought a body kit. Well, you can go to places in the States, and you can get a body kit for $1,500, or you can get a body kit for $7,000. The kit that you get for $1,500, you see, oh yeah, I just got to bolt it on and do this because of things they see on TV.
You're right.
The reality is, if it doesn't fit, and a guy spends 100 hours reworking that to make it fit,
Yeah.
what have you saved?
There's your money.
Is this
So-
one of those you get what you pay for?
Essentially.
It sounds
Yeah,
like it.
Essentially. So any of these high quality kits, when people go $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, those kits will almost bolt on. Very little shimming and shaving. When you get, and I've had people do it, show up with a body kit with this material, and it's nothing wrong with it. It's just, this is made by, I'm going to say, an individual with a small business or in his garage, and he has a little side business.
Yeah, not-
When you're buying these kits from, and I don't even know the names of them, but they're, you know, they're going on hire cars. These custom aftermarket rim companies make a lot of these body kits as well. You're paying a premium for that. And the premium you're paying is ease of use for an installer to go in and install it.
For sure.
And
So-
I think I know exactly what it means when we saw the Nardi knockoff wheels on eBay. And
Right.
some-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one was $79, and that's $479. And I don't know what they cost,
And
but I'm
you could,
guessing
and
it's
it wiggled and you could bend it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
so mass produced and versus. There's a difference between production and engineering.
And some people have acceptable imperfections that they're willing
And
to
some
deal
people-
with on
and
their
some
business.
people will spend exactly, and there's
And some
nothing
people
wrong
like
with
it,
that.
But it's nice to have it just perfect and working just the way it's supposed
But there
to.
has
So
to
we
be
understand the difference. Yeah.
Expectation level as to what you get. You can't have that for the $79.
I hear you.
So
Now where are we going, Kevin? What
We're
are
going
we
to move
looking at
around.
over
I
here?
want to hear more about this paint process and why we've got all these doors and panels
Yeah, I
and
know,
everything
they're
on.
all over the place here. I know. And,
I know, it's,
more than you think, right?
like I said, it's not your typical car. This one is something else we're doing. It's a repair process on a vehicle, but
Yeah.
this is we're almost not reverse engineering. It's done in processes where the last time you're in, it looked like a car because everything was on it.
Right.
Now it doesn't look like a car. It's like, well, why are you going backwards? Well, we're not, because we did fit and alignment of all the panels. You want to have even gaps as much as you can. I mean, these cars from the factory in the 70s wouldn't have even gaps.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot to make it fit by adjusting and shimming.
With those minor
So
adjustments, yeah.
we want the body straight, the metal work straight, the filler work straight. When you seen it last time, it had blotches of white and blue,
Yeah.
and that was the filler material. You know, it wasn't on thick, but you work your metal out, you apply your filler. The filler then will shave in the high spot, or fill in the low spots, and we kind of shave off the high spots, and it gives it a uniform straight panel or a
Yeah.
surface to work with.
Honestly, it looks fabulous right now. As
Well,
soon as I came in, it looks so smooth to me and everything and stuff, and it was just, Kevin and I having a look, he had to point out, oh, if you look, you'll see these tiny little,
There's a little tiny pinhole there. That's the primer will help identify. You can't see all that when it's in the filler stage, but essentially what's happened is when you seen it, it was almost ready for primer.
Right.
We had all the doors on it, and the first coat of primer, we knew the jambs were bare metal. We didn't have to worry about repairing all that because it wasn't damaged. But everything else, like that rocker's been replaced, the quarter's been rebuilt.
It looks, I would have thought it was there brand spanking new. It's beautiful.
So,
what are these holes for? I'm kidding, really.
we had a dart gun fight, and this was in the way. So
We're gonna patch those.
yeah, we'll just put some,
the Toyota Celica emblem goes right in there beautifully, and the holes look fantastic. Yeah.
So will the doors go back on now at this stage, or?
Well, what we did first is we put about probably 4 really heavy coats of primer on. And that's not normally suggested by any of the manufacturers, but we're shaving 70% of it off.
Wow.
So the filler, when you block, you have to work not backwards, but you're starting with very coarse papers. So when we sanded that fill, we're blocking with 80 or 40 grit and probably finishing off with 80. And areas with 100 or 120, okay? Then we're applying the primer. And the primer will fill in those sand scratches so that you don't see underneath the paint all the lines, okay?
Right,
so we
yeah.
put on 3 or 4 coats of primer, block most of it off.
Yep.
And that'll fill in any of the smaller low spots and high spots, help give it a uniform color.
Yeah.
We then, after it's all sanded, took the doors and the fenders back off because we knew the jambs were fine, but we can't paint over top of bare metal.
Okay.
So, the first coat of primer was done with the doors on, and this had bare metal in it.
Yeah.
We etched the outside of it, primed it, so when we block the car, we block the outside. We're confident that the outside, the body lines all line up. You have a nice straight look of it.
Yep.
Now this coat of primer, even though it's the same material, is for finishing. We're not trying to make it straight anymore.
Right.
Even though we are going to block it still.
Yep.
We're not trying to make this perfect. This should be ready to go from the body technician to the paint line technician. And they're different in the same way that a guy that does framing is different than a finish carpenter.
Framing for a house versus a finish.
Work on houses.
Gotcha.
One guy builds a structure, other guy makes it pretty. This is
But,
going to the lipstick and mascara stage.
Two girls that come in to do your internet hookup at your house.
Right on, or like your beard and my face, right? You know.
Someone has to hook up the router, and someone else does the software on the computer.
Smooth.
I don't know.
What we'll do on this is now it's ready to the point where we block it with, we'll start with a 320 grit paper,
Right.
work up to like a 400. The body technician will then hand it off to the preppers. They'll finish it from anywhere between 600 and 800 grit paper. The paint itself will cover 600 grit scratches. So
Nice.
if we sand it with 6, you should not see the sand marks through the paint. We'll probably finish it with 8 just to be safe,
Yep.
because there's a lot of metallic in this color, high metallic content. You can have potential for sand scratches where the metallics highlight the scratches.
Wow, yes.
So
gotta
it's
be
not
very
scratch, so
particular.
it's just finishing and detail work.
Yeah.
And the reason the doors are off is because we want to prime the jambs.
Okay.
So this looks perfect in here, Darrell. Is this gonna be gray as well inside here?
No, that's still a primer because it's bare. It's not bare metal, but it was bare metal with an acid primer. Then the sandable primer is the same stuff that's on the
Right.
car now. You're not going to leave it black or gray, and you're not going to paint it blue because it's an awful lot of wasted material for no benefit. So typically, what we'll do is after the vehicle's painted, this will all be, depending on how you do it. You can do it ahead of time. I'll probably do it afterwards. This will all be scuffed down and painted with a black rubberized coating.
Okay.
And the advantage of that is we'll paint it black first and then spray the rubberized coating over top of it. So when the tires are turning, if it gets into gravel or dirt or debris, it's going to come off those tires at several, RPM, 1,000 RPMs. Or not, I guess the wheels would be 1,000 RPMs, but all that debris can fly up in your wheel wells and it chips the paint. And the advantage of the rubberized coating is if it goes through the paint, it doesn't go to bare metal. So it's going to hit this rubberized coating before it gets to the primer. So it'll be primer, it'll be a rubberized coating with black paint over top of it. And we'll do that here, and then we'll do it also.
That sounds beautiful. That must help with rust as well, right?
It'll help. Yeah, he spent a lot of money getting to the stage. So basically, the apron and the engine bay are black.
Right.
These seams will mask off, and will all be painted black. You don't see any of this when the car is back together, other than you'll see the strut. And then we'll do the same thing here. Coat this with a rubberized coating.
Yep.
So if you took the fender off and the finished product, you're going to see blue, blue, blue. This cowling will be blue, and then along this seam will mask off and have it all in flat black. So
And is this going to be having the gray primer on first, and then
that was solid. In fact, we don't need to get it. We don't have to prime that because we didn't repair that. It was
I understand now. Okay,
one of the few solid spots in the car. But after it's all sanded, like I say, we'll sand all this.
Yep.
And then we'll apply the rubberized coating, and then we'll repaint the whole wheel well black,
Nice.
just to freshen it up. So when you look at it, new paint, new wheels, new suspension, it'll kind of
It'll look really, really
look
nice.
the part
Yeah.
sort of thing, right? And you won't see any of it because the way we'll paint it is in processes, but not process. There's different ways to do it, but
No, you guys do an amazing job even with the primer and stuff and the paint, but I never see any paint anywhere else. And I guess you do masking tape everything off.
we'll mask it. Like if we paint this, there's two ways to do it. Well, there's multiple ways to do it, but we can do it in a 3-step to the booth where we'll paint the underside of the parts first,
Right.
flip them over, paint the outside of the parts, let them dry, and then we'll run the body through the booth
Right.
on its wheels, but leave all the trim off of it, like all the parts off
okay.
of it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when we paint it, you have a seamless finish. There's no masking lines. The only thing we have to tape up is an engine compartment, basically 4 openings for glass and a trunk. So when you paint it,
Yeah.
this is how a show car would be done in the, when you see it on TV. There's no seams, there's no lines, it's a nice, and that's the best way to do it.
That's like work art. It's beautiful. Just,
Disadvantage to that
yeah.
is you better be pretty careful putting those freshly painted parts in the car, because one move when you chip the paint, you're starting over.
Yep.
So the way we're not sure which way to go yet, was the other way is we can paint all the jams.
Right. And jams, we've been talking about jams a lot.
Jams would be just the things that, when this is the exterior, when you open the doors, hood, trunk, roof, or not roof, doors or hood and trunk,
Yeah.
the stuff you don't see is what we refer to as jams.
Yeah.
So
They're kind of hidden until you open it up
until
and
you open
stuff
the
and
door.
you see it.
So if we painted the outside blue and opened it, would look ugly.
Absolutely.
So we'll spray this all blue, same with the aprons, trunk jams. The other theory to do it is that we can paint the inside of the parts,
Yep.
paint the jams, install them on the car, and then be very careful and mask off all your jams. The advantage of that is it's only through the booth twice.
Yep.
And every hour that booth runs is $75, $80 in electricity and fuel. The other advantage of it is if we scratch something, we haven't got to the painting stage. We can sand the primer, dust a bit of primer on it.
Yeah.
We fix our boo-boos as we go. But the disadvantage is if someone who is completely OCD and very, very fussy, if
It
they open
happens,
your
yeah.
door, they can see a mask line of where the first coat was on and the second coat's going on over top of it. You have to mask it off, otherwise the paint will all blow in the seams.
Right.
So depending on which way Colin wants to go, both will do the job. To 98.5% of the population, no one would know the difference. Mm-hmm. It's the 1% that are going to go, So,
Sounds good. We're looking forward to seeing the painting happen soon.
yeah, 10 more days.
10 more days. At one point we said 2 more months. That's 10 more days. So big improvements we've seen today already. So looking forward to the next stage.
And so that everything's primed. We know we're going to paint this car realistically in stages, is probably the way we're going to head with it,
Yep.
which is, there's advantages and disadvantages to that. So that's why everything's off, and it's all been primed inside and out. So now, like I said, the first thing we'll do is run this over to the preppers. They'll sand the insides of the parts and paint them.
Oh, they'll paint them with them off?
Paint the insides.
The insides, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So depending on how we do this, depending on which side of the fence you're on, they're both good, both have advantages, and if you want I can explain them, but it's going to be long.
But I'm thinking if I took my car in and I just want to paint the outside panel,
we're masking
then
the
we're
jams
masking it
because
off.
there's nothing on the inside.
Yeah, there's no need to get in there.
Unless there was damage or rust or,
Exactly.
Yep. But if there's nothing where you just had, a key scratch down the side of your car,
Yeah.
we're going to protect all your jams and openings with special tapes and foam,
Right.
aperture tapes and masking, so that we don't have to get overspray or paint inside your jams.
Now, will this, this is a base clear that's going on
Everything,
product?
yeah, everything.
So when you put a base inside those panels,
Yep.
are you going to clear as well, or wait till the clear
No,
together?
absolutely do it.
Everything.
It's
Yeah.
a step. It's like stain
Okay.
and varnish.
Yeah.
You put your stain on, you got to put your varnish on over top.
And then the doors will go back on, you'll check your fit again, and then you'll do this.
That's why we're not sure which way
Which
we're going
way,
to go.
okay.
So we can
Yeah.
run this through two different ways.
Different ways to skin a cat, right?
It just, and then neither one is wrong, neither one is right. Anyone who watches this, you're gonna have a bunch of experts.
When we come back for the next piece,
Yeah.
then we'll let people
Absolutely.
know which
Yeah.
way we went.
So-
yeah, cool.
Sounds good. And now we're actually going to go and do a little bit of primer painting too. I think we're going to be looking at the little
Yeah,
bit of
we're gonna get to try this. Last time
we'll
we're
give
here.
her, we'll see. We'll see.
my
We'll give her a
goodness.
shot. We'll see if we can. We're already primed, but we'll see if we can't get you to spray
We'll
a
arm
little bit of
wrestle
primer
and
on
see
it.
if
We
you
will.
let us do it,
We'll see what
okay.
we can come up
All
with here.
right. Man, that's looking good, brother.
Good?
Yeah. I can't believe Darrell let you paint that.
Anything already?
You said we could spray something.
I've been driving all night, my hands wet on the wheel. There's a song in my head that drives my heel. What's my baby calling, said I need you here. And it's 4:30 and I'm shifting gear. Oh my God, we're brutal.